Right, lads, here's a quick weapons tier list for Archive Game on Roblox. And no, I'm not going to waffle on about every single weapon in the game. There's over 50 of the things, and half of them are about as useless as a chocolate teapot. So, some you kind of get from bosses, some you can, craft with recipes. And yes, they've even chucked in guns, just to confuse everyone. So I guess with that many options, it's a bit of a headache. So in this video, I'll just be covering the weapons which were worth my time so far. So let's just get the trash out of the way first. In D tier, we only have the full stop pistol. And honestly, yeah, it deserves to be down here. It's not completely useless, it's got some range, safe spacing, and even a bit of stagger. But compared to the rifle, it just feels like the budget version. It's yeah, it works, but why would you use this when you can just use the actual good gun? So it's basically like a diet damage. Next up is C tier, which is the meh, I guess it works category. First in the list is Durandal, which has this whole balanced defense and offense vibe. The AoE is kinda nice, and the defense break on charge hits can chunk people, but I think the swing speed is so slow it kinda drags everything down. Then there's the Steam Gauntlet, which is easy to get and does decent damage. It's fine for close range fights and doesn't ask much to use, but it never really goes beyond just fine. Okay, so moving up, B tier is where things start a little better. The Pointless Brush is actually kind of cool. You get block bypass, hyper armor, and it loves stacking debuffs, especially if you're in a tight map. Then there's the Kurikumu Gilded Katana, which is literally just the normal katana, but shinier. Still fast, still good DPS, just not amazing in group fights. The Rose Spanner Crusher is a big bonk stick that hits really hard and breaks guards, but the windup is so long you might as well go grab a snack while you're swinging. And finally, the Flaming Bat. It sets enemies on fire, but it also burns you, so yeah, it's risky, but funny if you just want to run around bonking things. Now 8 tier has Zelkova, one of those weapons that just works, it's reliable and easy to get. Not busted, but it's always solid. All-Ass is a spear that's great early on, since it breaks blocks and does nice DPS, but later in the game it doesn't keep up in my opinion. Crystal Atelier is kinda sick if you like punishing parries, since it can bypass block and then break it right after. Super satisfying if you time it right. Then Warp Corp machetes are situational, but once you've stacked enough charge, they can hit really hard, so they're worth mentioning in the list. Then you've got the Stigma Workshop Sword, which is quick, applies burn, and doesn't need a ton of investment. Really strong in early fights. And lastly, Mook, which is just a super solid all-arounder. Doesn't ask for much, deals good DPS, easy to combo. Boring maybe, but I found it super reliable. Now finally, S tier. The ones you actually want to grind for. The Scythe of Mimicry is just nasty if you know how to use it. Long range, big sweeping moves, plus damage over time. The combos can be insane, but you actually gotta land the hits. Atelier Logic is your steady damage dealer. Not flashy, not huge burst, but always consistent and easy to unlock, which makes it great for most players. Then Old Boys is that big hammer that carries you early on. It's steady and predictable, but yeah, it does fall off late game. Wheels Industry is a great sword that's just solid DPS, good guard break, and super easy to craft. Nothing much to say about it. And then of course, the Full Stop Rifle, the actual good gun. It reloads a bit clunky, but it gives you poise, breaks guards, and with the right setup, it works great. So it definitely belongs up here. And yeah, that's the weapons tier lists. Like I said, not every single weapon's in here, because lads, we'd be here all day. These are the ones worth mentioning in my opinion.